Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Shadow, bringing you guys some more One Piece content. Using Blackbeard, this was at the very beginning of OP11, so deck list is kind of outdated, but just trying to give you some idea of the gameplay here. I took first away, so take away the UP's ramp capabilities of like a Zoro, Joro right away, or a Gear 2 to be able to ramp. But I do establish stage, pitch, and search, and then here on my 3-down turn, I'm going to do my era begins searching top 3. Didn't see what I grabbed there, but essentially my game plan is trying to establish the new 7-cost teach. Also that Doc Q as well. I do have it in the deck list. If they decide to try to starve it out, I am able to just pop it with the new 7-cost teach. So kind of giving myself some options there. So I do find the auger here off the Luffy, finding the Luffy off the stage, pitching that Doc Q. So I'm trying to find the auger so next turn I could establish it so that on my 7 Dawn, if I see it, 7 drop, remove whatever is on the field. So just trying to get the board essentially ready for that turn. So of course, again, on 5 Dawn, I am going to pitch the auger, and because I'm doing this because I believe I do have Kuzan in my hand, so I'm going to choose to establish Kuzan first instead of just hard playing the Van Auger, because UP Luffy does run God Thread. So there should be no reason why I will be, establishing the Van Auger and risk it getting popped by a God Thread if they are running it. I will get a draw off Auger, but I need the Auger to stick for the reduction. So I opt to play the Kuzan since it can't be removed by anything. So pass turn to UP. Here he's going to swing 5, ramp with the Zoro. I take the life here. Obviously, I'm willing to take the first couple life here. Not really pitching in this matchup at all until going into his 9 Dawn turn, because by then, don't want to let a Big Mom off or a Sanji to whatever 9 drop he would like. So he can give whatever Bon Clays or Namis early on in the game as much as he wants to. So you do see the Bon Clay ramp and establishes another Zoro Joro, so it's going wide here. So doing it exactly how he typically wants to. So I do swing 5 with the Kuzan to the Zoro Joro, getting that swing in before I use the ability to draw, trash itself, and then play out the Van Auger, because I do have the 7-cost teach here, which Auger is going to reduce the Bon Clay, and then I'm going to pop it with the 7 drop. Don't want to let that thing stick since it will copy the 7 drops attack stat being an 8k. And then now we're going to cycle, pitching that black hole for preferably some type of counter, if not another reduction piece, which we do see the Van Auger, because the 7 drop teach will pop a 3 cost or less. So with double Van Auger, I will be able to essentially pop a 9 cost, which is a majority of what this deck plays here. So I do pitch for ability this turn because next turn they are going to be at 10 Dawn. So they are doing their leader ability, being able to grab 1 Straw Hat, add it to the hand, and then set up their draw. So that's a very good thing about this deck, just being able to, alter the top deck and grab essentially what you need. So there have been multiple games where I have lost to UPs because they just continuously find red rocks, and it's very easy to find what you need in UP. Just about as easy it is in Blackbeard because of all the searches I do. So you do see he decides to swing 6k at the Auger. I do protect the Auger because, again, I want to keep the reduction. And I'm pretty much banking on him trying to establish a 9 drop here, just to continue to kind of have some type of pressure. And that's what I wanted him to do. But he ends up swinging 8k to the Van Auger. I do have the counter to protect it, but I don't consider it to be worth it. So you do see I let it go. I take the draw instead. I figured that'd be better. And you do see he establishes another Zoro Joro here, and is going to pass turn. So opting to try to go wide here, which is okay for me here. I am going to potentially be able to remove both. I do have access to remove both, but I also want to pressure life at this point. Haven't swung at him once. He's kind of building a book in his hand there. I do believe I don't have a 7-drop right now, but I am going to search here. So I pitched that Van Augur because I do have another Kuzan. And I'm opting to do it this way because if I have to establish something, I'd rather do the Kuzan to try to find another card from the deck. So, but you do see I find the 7-drop, which now I'm going to opt to try to do that instead because I am going to be able to pop both if I really wanted to here. And you're going to see here because I'm going to be able to swing into one. If he lets it go, swing to life and then pop with the one that I just established. So you do see how my arrow begins grabbing a Luffy. So again, I'm still trying to build trash and find other pieces. Or no, I grabbed the Kuzan instead, not the Luffy. But that Kuzan is the 6-cost blocker on KO. Grab a rested or play out a rested Blackbeard from trash. So could be good for late game. But you do see swing 5. He lets the Zoro go. Swing 8 into leader with the teach that is able to swing, and he does give me a gear 2, and then I pop the Zoro with that new teach I just established. Also setting up a Caribou here, which is one of the new blockers from the set, which is able to it's on play trash 2, but since Blackbeard does not have any on plays, I do not need a trash 2 card. So very great blocker for the deck, and it's also a 2K. So even though it's not searchable, I somehow always seem to be able to find this card, so which is a good thing. But yeah, there's no reduction on the field currently, but it's okay because at this point, these teachers are really meant to be there for pressure. You do see my opponent tries to do a Nusahachi here to rest the Caribou because he was going to attempt to swing big into one of these teachers. This was just testing. We were just, it's not our local or nothing, so I let him take it back. We were trying to learn the decks here, so I'd rather at least play this correct and how he would have done it, realizing that there were no on plays. So that is why you see him take it back. He is going to swing 9K into the teach. I do give him the Caribou blocker. I did not want to go into trash yet to try to look for a different card. It can grab itself, which is another good thing about the teach. Really interesting thing actually, the teach is able to pop any character, so you could even pop your own characters, which I believe I have popped a Doc Q that was sitting on my side of the field just to kind of get rid of it and get a draw since there was nothing else to pop on my opponent's side. So you can give yourself options. You do see a Shiryu 4 cost that was heavily played last set. Again, I altered the list out. I no longer run the Shiryu or Finger Pistol, but you will see it in this game. But you do see I pitched all that. I do establish a 10-drop teach here just to have the body, and I'm just going to swing 8Ks to leader here since both teaches can swing with no Don attached. It is going to force him to use a giant here, which shows me that he doesn't have any counter if he's forcing a giant out. But you also did notice he did not establish a body last turn with all the Don that he had. Potentially only had 9 costs bodies and opted to try to go big into one of these teaches. I think the correct thing could have been to establish a body. You do see I only have 2 cards in hand, so the likelihood of me getting any type of reduction is sort of kind of low right now. Obviously, it would have been stunned with the 10 drop, but I think at this point, establishing any bodies that you are able to try to put pressure is going to be the correct thing to do. You do see he finds a Nami there, and that is what he's been looking for this entire game, is what he told me. Just to have something early on to protect himself. But again, there's the red rock that is just the bane of my existence in this deck for Teach. So he does red rock my 10 drop away and swings 8K into the Teach. I do 1K counter to save it. Again, trying to hold on to these things just so that I can continue to just poke pressure. It's going to require him to either use a Gear 2, Gum Gum Giant, or give me at the minimum 2 cards. So I do have another Teach in hand that I found early on in the game, where I believe started in hand with. So at least still able to continue to keep the wall up. But since that was one of the 2 cards I had in my hand, I am going to have no cards going into his turn since I'm going to have to pitch for ability. Don't have to pitch for ability, but I don't want to give him the chance to, again, do Sanji to any type of character. And again, he could stack it however he wants. He could play out potentially another Lin Lin or a Katakuri or that new Secret Rush Luffy that can bounce a 4 cost if he likes. So I don't want to give him the chance to be able to do any of that stuff. So at this point, he's going to be able to swing big and remove any one of these bodies he would like to. You do see I am currently at 4 life. He's been trying to focus solely on these 8 drops. So at this point, I've basically starved me out. But any type of pressure that I'm able to put on UP is better for me. That's how I would rather have it. And if he does remove any of these 7 drops, I can grab whatever I would like from the trash. And you're going to see, I'm going to probably, I believe I opt to grab the 6 cost Kuzan. And I grab that because it is a blocker. And on kill, we'll be able to bring back any one of the 5 costs, including the Burgess, which is, you know, mainly what I want to see. So I'm just trying to give myself some options while also protecting my board to continue to put pressure on him. So I do grab that Kuzan, do draw another card. So currently at 2 in hand. So I am still going to be able to establish a body and pitch. If not, it would have been pretty much... I'd have to pitch to continuously not give him on plays there. So you do see I pitch a 5 cost Kuzan there. I could have honestly established the Kuzan and established the Burgess as well, leaving me with 1 Don left to at least poke with leader. But I decided to swing 9k with my leader here just to put pressure on it. I'm going to establish Burgess as well. I opt to do it this way just to kind of get as much counter. Because, again, he's leaving a lot of Don up, so I'd rather him waste his Gear 2s and Gum Gum Giants here than later. So I do attach 2 Don to the 7 drop, swinging 10 here. And, again, you see here, he is procting to do another Giant. And I believe at this point, I think this is probably the 2nd Giant. Or 3rd. I've lost count to how many cards he's used. But we are basically going through all of his event cards here. And I do swing 12 with the Teach here. And again, mainly because we are just trying to dwindle the hand size at this point while we can. Especially if he sees another Red Rock, the Teach is basically useless. So I would rather get as much value from Teach now than it being at the bottom of the deck. So you do see Gear 2 and a bunch of 2Ks there. And Burgess gets established, becoming a 11k body since I have a lot in the trash, as you see right there. So, again, if he is going to swing big into any one of these characters, if he swings big into the 7 drop, I'm going to grab whatever I want. If he swings big into 10 drop, okay, I am still going to be able to swing big with Burgess, 7 drop, and my leader. So that's essentially how I want to keep it going. Not allowing him to play any on plays. And just kind of try to protect up with his events here. So that's the only good thing going for me here is that he hasn't really wanted to establish a 9 drop. He's just trying to swing big into my characters, which is better for me. And he's keeping as much Dawn up as possible for events. So trying to play it more safe. However, I believe he needed to try to be as aggressive as possible. I did take out his early game pressure, flooding the board with the Bonclays and Zorojoros, so that was also good for me. And you do see here, considering on what to do here, he does have 4 Don off to the side. I believe he might want to establish the Nami here just to have a blocker. And I believe might opt to actually do that and just swing bigger into the 7 drop Teach there. And I think that's what he is going to do. He's going to swing just enough, which is 8k into the Teach. I don't have any cards in hand, so it's just going to clear it right away. I do grab the 6 cost again. I know there are probably better options, but I continuously grab that to try to do that play of walling up with that, putting pressure, and then bring back a Burgess. However, you do see I draw Finger Pistol. Again, the deck has been altered, so I no longer run Finger Pistol in the list that I am currently using. But just so happens that right here I am running it. So I'm going to swing 9k with my leader first. Honestly, probably the better option would have been the Finger Pistol, but I just thought I would try my luck. Because if he was going to counter out, I was just going to establish the Kuzan instead. I mean, blocker out. I was going to establish Kuzan and do my normal plan. But he does take the 9k, and I figured at this point he probably has no counter if he's not getting out of that. So I do Finger Pistol the Nami, and it's going to basically buff up my Burgess by another 1k since Finger Pistol will mill 2 cards, see itself, and then I use Stage to get another 1 to give it that extra boost to 12k. And I end up being able to swing 12 and 14, and he is going to concede here because he has nothing but bricks in hand. But as always, if you guys enjoy the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment down below what you guys thought of the matchup, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.